Talking to my friend Lizzie today, Elizabeth Karuna. Talk about fly fishing, visiting Montreal, some other stuff too. She asked me a lot of questions.
Here she
Always
is, Lizzie, Elizabeth Karuna.
hello. Hello from sunny Northern California.
There you go. I like your hair today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going for a caramel latte kind of color. So I was like, wanted to just change it up a little bit, do something a little different. So
Yeah.
I decided for like caramel latte kind of color, caramel macchiato, something coffee related.
When did you do that?
I recently went to Canada, so it was the week before I went to Canada, so about like 10 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you like Canada? I know you were in Montreal, right?
Yes, I was in Montreal and I really love the city. It's gorgeous. There is a lot of old world glamour, old buildings. Um, People are super friendly. If you speak French or attempt to speak French.
Right.
So, um,
Right.
I definitely learned my lesson. You speak more French, people are more receptive. Speak less French, more English, then it depends. There's some people that were like, I want to definitely practice my English on you. I'm like, sure, why not? So,
Yeah, that
run.
did you ever go to Paris before? You ever go to France?
Yes, I've been to Paris twice.
Once?
2013 for a marathon. And then before that, I went with my parents. So that was like in the
Okay.
80s.
Yeah, I think I went in 2006. I was walking around Paris, and the more I attempted to speak French, they were more receptive to me. Like
Right.
I walked into a bakery, and I'm like, bonjour, and then they look up, like they were more like open to me.
Right. And then when you leave, it's like, merci au revoir. And then they're like, merci au revoir.
Yeah, but then you try to, but they see that you don't speak French that well. They do try to help you, but at least you try, and they're fine. That's what they're
Right.
okay
I
with.
think just attempting makes a world of difference.
Yeah,
You're not like in like a typical American, like, oh, everybody speaks English. No. I mean,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you language, they seem happier, like more content.
I did piss off. I did piss off a lady once. A lady. I was coming out of Charles de Gaulle, the airport. I was taking the escalator up, and I was
Yeah.
just so amazed. And I'm looking around. I'm walking up the escalator, and I bumped into her. I think I might have bumped into her butt. Like my head just went up because she was above me, and my head just like went into her butt maybe. And she's like, "It's like meow, I'm American." She said like she just went out. She got me like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "Disculpa." What is it, désolé?
That's one of the prime examples where you could like change and like speak Tagalog and then completely throw her off.
Yeah. People were helpful to me. I don't know, maybe because I didn't look too American. Because I was like looking at the map, and I'm like, maybe because I don't look American. Like I look, I'm Asian, and they
Yeah.
were just like, "Oh, do you need help? Do you need help?" It's like, I forgot I forgot how to say that in French. Like, hell, and they were trying to like, oh, they were really very, very helpful.
What was your most fantastic experience when you were in Paris?
Uh, Seeing the Mona Lisa.
Right.
I was
Were
a
you
little
surprised?
disappointed with Bastille.
Okay. Were you surprised at how the dimensions of the Mona Lisa
Yeah,
of the painting?
yeah, yeah. I think someone recently just put like threw like something on it. Didn't they? Somebody just like vandalized it somehow. Like they threw something on it.
Is it covered in glass or is it one of those
Yeah, it's
ones
covered
where,
in glass, but they threw something at it. Maybe
yeah,
maybe it was something else.
you think it was because of climate change, some kind of protest about climate change?
I don't remember. I don't. I maybe that's. I could be wrong. But I liked walking. I liked walking around at 3 in the morning because I used to like New York City. I used to like walking around at 2 or 3 in the morning when I lived there. And I found Victor Hugo's house where he used to live. He wrote Les Mis because
Yeah.
I was in Montmartre at right kind of right below Sacre Coeur. I didn't climb those steps like screw this.
Those steps look brutal.
Yeah.
Those steps definitely look brutal. I think the arrondissement that I was staying at was Saint Germain.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I stayed there. They have fabulous hot chocolate, and of course, their croissants are to die for.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't have I don't think no, I had a croissant. I had a croissant. Yeah. At my the hostel I was staying at, there was an American kid, American guy.
Okay.
He'd been living in France, and he had like Monsieur. He would like he really like. I was like, ah, that's a little bit exaggerated. Hello, like I was like, bonjour. I was like, whoa, kid. But I think he went to Columbia. Yeah, he said he went to Columbia University, and that his roommate was big into hockey because I told him I was big into hockey.
Did he sing all
So
his responses? It sounds like he sang all his responses.
what is it?
He sounded like he sang all his responses because when you said bonjour and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
sounded
He
like
was
he was
like it's
singing.
always elongated. I mean, I guess he's been there for a while.
So did you have a good weekend so far?
Um, just taking care of my mom. I'm taking care of my mom because she's got dementia and diabetes. I mean, I'm just more or less relaxing. I
Yeah.
mean, I picked up
Well,
a hockey gear. Well, not the whole thing. I picked up a hockey helmet because I want to start doing stick time over here. I can't play hockey again, not yet. Because I'm waiting to go to doctors here in New Jersey. Uh, yeah. So far, it's just relaxing. It's the way I want it. How about you? You went bike riding, right?
it's been good. I had a knee injury when I was in Quebec. Um,
That's right.
I was wearing flip-flops. I was walking to the train station. Um, in Quebec, every morning there's somebody that waters down the sidewalks, and the sidewalk was obviously wet, and it's cobblestones, and I biffed it. I fell forward. I tried to land on my hands, did not. I ended up landing on my knee, and I have this huge gash on my knee. It's already been about I think tomorrow it will be like 14 days since it happened,
Did you get
and
stitches?
still I'm changing my band-aid daily. It's almost healed, but um
You didn't
I
get
think
stitches, right?
I think next week I'll be able to go
You'll be
biking.
able to.
Yeah.
You should have gotten stitches before, no?
I don't think it's stitches. I think it was just Neosporin and
Oh,
bandages. It takes longer for it to heal. The wound is just wet, so it just needs to heal. But yesterday, I was just being clumsy. I was walking up the stairs, and I was wearing longer pants, kind of drapey ladies pants,
mhm.
and just being stupid, I stubbed my toe and I lurched forward. So I was just being clumsy, and I kind of re-injured myself.
Yeah.
So that's what
It's
happens
all
when
right.
you're eight.
You're not that old. Calm down. I mean, you bike like
Oh yeah, I
you
typical,
bike a lot.
yeah, 20, 25 miles, sometimes 30 miles, um, Saturdays
How
and
fast do
Sundays.
you go?
As much as the bike group goes, I try to stay at their pace. So 15, 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour.
And is there an incline or it's just like I know inclines are that what matters most? I have a friend who's a
So there's a bike pathway
triathlete.
along a local river, and I just take it up and down, and we just go how everybody is feeling that day.
Right.
Sometimes you're in front of the pack, sometimes you're at the back of the pack. You just want to make sure that you're not the last. But
Yeah.
it all depends. Sometimes everybody's going super fast. Sometimes people are going super slow. So you just have to keep up with the rest of the group. But they don't leave anybody behind. We just try to, kind of be in the middle of the pack. But we just
Yeah,
try
I wouldn't
to
be able to keep up.
we just try to keep up. So
I wouldn't be able to keep up.
I'm sure you would.
You got cool
You'd be a
equipment.
great biker. I'd get you some good tunes, and you could have like half your tunes in, half your tunes out, so you could, speak a little bit, converse, have some conversations, but then still be able to listen to your music and, rock it out.
So what do? You drive. What is it? You drive to
We
the
we meet
top of.
we meet at one person's house, and that person lives a quarter mile, half mile from the bike path, and then we usually go 1 hour, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes up, and then one
You go
hour
back around.
back. And then sometimes we stop for a cup of coffee. Sometimes we don't, depending on how everybody else in the group feels.
Yeah. And how'd you meet these people? Meetup group?
There's this function on a dating app that has best friends, like a best friends function, and then like a dating function. So I've been using it lately for a best friends function.
Yeah.
And so I met somebody on there, and we went for brunch, and they said, "Hey, are you receptive on a bike group?" And I'm like, not today, because I want to finish my waffle. I'm like, not today. I'm gonna finish my waffle, but next week
Yeah.
I definitely decide on going on the bike ride. And then that following week when I went for the bike ride, I took my chunkiest bike. It's like a road bike, with mountain tires rather than skinny tires, and it was quite an experience. It was definitely difficult, but I was able to do 30 miles that day. And then the following week, I brought my cute little bike, my little skinny race bike, and then that was so much easier. But I wanted my first time to be a little rough and tough and a little bit difficult. But then the following rides were just easier since it was like the skinny race bike.
So are you biking on like what kind of roads? Are you biking on dirt road, paved roads,
Oh,
or
no. It's
depends?
it's paved. Um, Not like concrete paved, but like that asphalt.
Cobblestone?
Yeah, it's like asphalt. It's almost like a dark, uh, almost like a dark, like whatever is on the roads. It's not the concrete. It's like the regular roads that are in California. Like
Hopefully
dark.
not ones with potholes like in LA.
Yeah, I think it's asphalt. I know it's not concrete because concrete's like light gray looking. This one's
Oh,
more
like
like,
sidewalk, yeah.
yeah, it's not like a sidewalk. It's like the actual, like,
Paved
when
road.
you're driving in the car and you see a pothole and then they come and fill it up with asphalt. I really think it's asphalt.
Paved, yeah.
Yeah. But it's paved. It's 20 miles, 20 or 30 miles each way. And then there's some off roads that you can take as well. But I usually don't do that. I usually just do the regular standard biking path.
I
It's
love dirt roads. I like taking my mountain bike and like there's a park by me over here in New Jersey. And I like
Mhm.
taking the dirt roads. I just go in the sun and just doing the dirt roads. I love that.
I heard you took up some fishing.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was jealous because you were going fishing, fly fishing in Montana. I think in June or July, And
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do fly fishing, and like I started asking you questions. I got an
Right.
Orvis Clearwater too. Is it
So
Clearwater one?
yeah, I'm so glad
5
that you.
weights, 4, 5, 6 weight for freshwater.
Yeah, you have a good rod setup.
Yeah, I forgot what did I. It's like $25. I think it was a Shakespeare. It's a Shakespeare
Okay.
rod. Yeah, I'm just
Awesome.
learning. But I'm glad
Yeah.
I got the I'm glad I got the reel, the Orvis reel, because I was pretty excited. It was like $75.
Right. Those reels are great, and you'll really like. I'm sure your setup's gonna look really great, and
It does.
couple of your fish. Like I always like your fish. I'm like, oh yeah, your fish. You caught a good one today.
You caught like you went to Montana. You were on a boat, right?
I did. So my dad invited me fishing a couple of years ago, and I always said no, but um, now I get the opportunity to hang out with my dad for like 2 weeks. So
Eh,
I definitely said yes. And then there's two ways of fishing. You can just fish off the bank and go up and down the river, walking with your waders, or you can go in a drift boat. And he elected to do 2 or 3 days in a drift boat. And it's great. It's a little lazy, but uh, it's it's definitely if you can swing, it's a little expensive, but if you can swing it, it's definitely a good way to fly fish.
what's a drift boat?
A drift boat is it
Does that
looks
have a
like
motor in it?
it looks like aluminum boat, like a little tiny aluminum boat that's like maybe 15 feet long, and it has an anchor in the middle, and then there's a row like an oars, and then the fishing guide is using the oars, and then he has an anchor to stop. There's no motor on it, so you can only drift down. So you take a trailer to drift down, and then you pick up your car like 20 miles down or 30 miles down.
So how'd you get up? So how'd you get up there? They drive you?
Oh, they drive you with a boat, with the boat, with the trailer and the pickup truck on there. And then you park it there. He takes the boat out. And then there's this shuttle service that picks up his car and takes it downstream 30 miles.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they really figured things out. Like it's like it's a precision arrangement.
Precision.
It is. Like they have it
It's
figured
well
out.
thought out.
It is well thought out. So you see like multiple boats dropping off the boat into the water, and then you at the end you see like a whole row of in the parking lot, a whole row of cars, trucks with the empty trailer and just waiting for people to go down the river and return to
Yeah.
their car.
You're spending time with your father. That's good.
Yeah, I get to spend 2 weeks with him, and it was wonderful. Anytime that I get a chance to, I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm really impressed at his age and his strength, and he's like, it's like love for life. He's great.
Yeah, just trying new things. If you told me like 5 years ago or 10 years ago that I'd be like fly fishing and know how to fly fish, I would have been thought, oh, you're crazy. I wouldn't do anything like that. I would be the person sitting on the banks reading a book or listening to music.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I would not be the person fishing. And now I am the person fishing.
I thought you've always loved fishing. I've always loved fishing.
Yeah, I always thought fishing was boring because you sit on the banks and you just at the same place and you keep on fishing, which I just can't do that. It's just mind-numbingly boring for me. But fly fishing is different because you're walking up and down the river. You're looking for like um, a patch of river that looks kind of calm. Um, and so there's just there's so many facets to it. You're walking up and down the river, so you're getting your workout, and then you see different things. You see different things all the
Right.
time. You're walking up and down the river. You see wildlife, birds,
Oh, it's one of the best things.
Bears. I did not encounter a bear or a moose, but they're out there.
How many fish did you catch?
The best day, our boat was 22, and our worst day, I think it was like 12 or 13.
What kind of fish were you catching? Salmon?
Brown trout, rainbow
Trout,
trout,
that's right.
brown trout, rainbow trout, and then whitefish. So I was able to catch the Trinity. That's the three.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
White trout, brown
You
trout,
told me that before. Yeah.
whitefish.
The Trinity.
Yeah.
And you take it home to eat, or you just catch and release?
So Montana is a catch and release state, so you can't bring your fish home. At least that's what they told us. The only fish you can actually have is like the ones at the grocery store or if it's at the
Yeah.
restaurant. But our guides were telling us that you can't take your fish home. So, it's
Well,
okay with release. I wouldn't want to take it home anyway. What we do.
Yeah, you're gonna.
We
Yeah.
didn't. There's no kitchen facilities at the motel hotel that we were at that we were at. So there wouldn't be any way for us to cook it.
So, were you just catching them like every 30 seconds, or was it like you'll catch a few every 2 minutes and then
It
stop?
all depends, because if you're going down the drift boat and you see like a rock, you see the rock on your left hand side, you want to go directly to the right where the rock drops off, and that's where you want to cast, because usually there's a bunch of fish that are under there. Or the bank of the river, there's usually like a little calm area that you can see between
Yeah,
the
yeah, and they'll hang out
And
over there.
You're right, that's where I would do it as well. So it's just a lot of just kind of knowing where like possibly the good fish are. The guide does tell you, sometimes tells you, hey, cast out here, cast out there, cast to your left, cast to your right. There's good fish on the right, there's good fish on the left. So sometimes the drift boat operator has a really good sense of where the good fish are, like what sections of the river are good to fish off.
Yeah. No, of course he's gonna know. He's a guy,
Right. But the
he
Madison
he knows that water.
The most popular rivers in Montana to fish. Like the fly fishing capital of the world, like the river is Madison River.
Yeah.
So it was just nice that we were able to go to that river. I've heard things about Yellowstone River that it's not as great, but Yellowstone River is gorgeous. Like it's just nestled between two sets of mountains that is just insanely gorgeous, and you can't believe that that the world would have some kind of like scenery like this, because it's nothing like New York City, nothing like LA. You just see like literally mountains, 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 and then sky, and then barely any homes.
Sounds beautiful. Yeah.
And it's stunning. It's everyone should see it once in their life in person rather than a picture.
Sounds like Banff. The lights in Banff, Canada.
Oh,
Northern Light. What is it?
Yes, I've heard of that.
What's it called?
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
I heard that's
like it's something that you need to see.
Right. You definitely have to see that. I've never seen it. I've heard good things about Aurora Borealis. I would love to see it.
Right.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. That's too far up. I mean, I've been in Canada before. The only time I've been to Canada, I started going to Canada when I was like 5th, 6th grade. It's because my grandmother lived in Toronto. Then I went to Thunder Bay when they moved to Thunder Bay. Then that was it when I was younger. Then I started going on my own as an adult in Toronto to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, then Montreal. I would just go there for the weekend during January because I just needed a break.
Did you go
life over here?
Games or Maple Leafs game in Toronto?
No. I would. I wouldn't wear a New Jersey Devils jersey. I'll tell you that much. And I'm afraid I'll get beat up.
That's yeah, it's just fighting. Those are fighting out, but
They're diehard fans, especially I think especially Montreal. That's like a whole different. I don't, you know what I mean. I think Montreal's got the Bell Center or Bell Arena. I don't know what it is in. I think maybe TD. No, it's what's I don't know what's in Toronto. Is TD in Boston or I don't remember.
okay.
But when I was in Montreal, I was walking around and I saw these apartment complexes, and in the yard they had like backyard hockey rinks. I'm like, whoa, that's really cool. And I'm a big
Wow.
hockey fan, yeah.
That would be great. Like you finish like your work day and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna lace up and then, play some hockey in
Yeah,
the backyard rink.
it was like a playground. It's just like, how we have like playgrounds here,
Yeah,
like a swing set. It was like a swing set for them, but they have backyard rinks.
that
It's pretty
definitely is a
cool.
dream. That definitely would be a dream.
And the people are different. You can tell there's definitely some French. You can tell you're in a different place. The people just look French a bit. Like they look European rather.
Right, right. I could definitely tell who were the locals and then who were American.
Yeah,
They just they just looked different and looked more old world and looked more
yeah.
like Americans like they just looked like, something that just walked out of Macy's or something that just walked out of, a retail store. Somehow the French they got stuff like pulled together.
Say what?
They still look pulled together. Like there I
Yeah,
saw this old French guy, he was wearing like one of those hats, like a
beret.
hat, almost like a cap. And then he was wearing like a tweed jacket with the elbows. And then he was wearing like just nicely styled pants and then his walker. And I was like, that guy is definitely French Canadian. You
Yeah.
know, he didn't seem like he was American.
Well, Montreal is also famous for like the gentlemen's club, the strip clubs, because
Oh yeah,
what we're known. Yeah.
I saw so many VIP. Sorry, excuse me. I saw so many VIP massage or VIP something or gentlemen's club
On
and
Saint Probably on Saint Catharines.
could be. But
St. Catharines is like the red light district over there.
okay, I did not see that. But I did see a speakeasy. There was a little VIP massage, and right next door to it was like a little speakeasy. And I walked in. I wasn't able, well, I had to wait with one of my friends at least like 30 minutes because we found out like there's no signs on there, there's no address. You just had to know where you're going. And
Yeah.
so you walk in, and then there's just a door that looks like a mirror, and you just wait there like 15, 20 minutes. And then somebody comes out and then says, okay, you're the third person in line, fourth person in line. The next, when four people leave, then you can come in. Well, we were there for almost an hour waiting in line. Um, of course, we had our phones, so we had something to do. But when you walked in the speakeasy, there's only like 25 seats. And then they ask you, like, what do you like to drink? Like, tell me what you like. And I said something like, well, this is true. So I said, I like anything tiki inspired. So something pineapple, something coconut. I love rum. And so, and then my friend, he said, I like, XYZ. And then he goes, give me a couple minutes, I'll be back. So he comes back and he says, I made you a drink with coconut tincture, pineapple, rum, ice, and then, a sprinkling of this, and that, more tincture this, more tincture that, and then presented me with my drink, and it was amazing. It was
Oh yeah.
just an amazing drink. So
Wow.
I've never had a speakeasy that was so personalized. I had a really great time. I had 3 or 4 drinks. I didn't drive. I took an Uber, so I had 3 or 4 drinks. Had a great time. Had a wonderful evening. And I would definitely return to that place. The people that were there were really know how to craft a cocktail.
What's the drinking age over there? I think it's 18 because people from the US will go over there.
I think it's almost like Europe where you don't have to be 21.
What is it?
I think it's, like Europe, you don't have to be 21. You can be like 18 or
Yeah,
16.
yeah.
And I think that's the same for tobacco. I think you don't need to be 21.
Yeah. You know what I was jealous of? So I'd go there in the winter time, and the homeless people would be wearing these Canada Goose jackets, and I love Canada Goose jackets.
Right.
I don't. Do you know? Are you into
They're
like?
like $700 here.
Yeah,
Like for
even more.
20,
And I just like, oh my god, he's got like Canada Goose, and he's like,
right. I
I was
saw
like,
this.
oh, I want one of those. I've always wanted one of those.
I've always wanted one too. I always loved like on the sleeve, it's like red and blue, and then it has like
Yeah,
a picture of like Antarctica or something. And
yeah.
I always loved seeing that. Um,
Right.
I didn't have a chance to go into a Canada Goose shop. I only went for a very small time. I was only supposed to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I ended up losing a one entire day. But I wish I had the chance to go to a Canada Goose um,
Store.
outlet or store because I would have definitely wanted to get one of their signature coats. Or there's a gray sweatshirt that I saw recently. It's a gray sweatshirt, but it has the Canada Goose in completely white.
Yeah,
So unless you knew what it was, you wouldn't know. So it'd be like stealth. It'd be a um, stealth brand item.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Canada Goose, but then I moved to LA, and I was like, I don't really need a jacket, so
Right?
didn't do it.
You just need a light sweater. I mean,
Yeah,
in LA, it's like I feel like it's 80 degrees all year round.
but after a while, when it's like after a while, if you've been living there a while, because you're so used to the heat, but when it does get when the summer like ends, you start to feel cold. It's like a different kind of cold. It's like desert cold. But some people, you start to wear. I start to wear my parka jacket, like ski jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a Columbia jacket.
Ooh.
It's like my body gets used to like the heat, and then all of a sudden everything just drops. Like anything below 60 is like cold to me. But over here, I'm fine. Like, you know what I mean?
I
In New
want to
Jersey, I'm
say
fine. It's like weird.
In Northern California, there's only a handful of days where it's lower than 35 degrees. Maybe just a handful. I start wearing a jacket when it starts to be the 40s. That's when I start wearing like a little bit heavier than a sweater.
Yeah.
Um, but we haven't had any snow here. We had one day of hail, and that's it. What
Like the
about LA?
first, yeah, what's first 2, 3 years I was there. I remember there was hail in Huntington Beach. Just on the beach, there was hail. It was hailing. I don't
Wow.
know if you heard about that. It was like it
No. I
was
have
like
to look
7 years ago.
I have to look that up.
It was just hail, like pellets.
Make snow cones on the beach. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
basically snow cones. Yeah.
Like self-made snow cones. Just get the syrup, get a cone.
Uh-oh. That's not JellyBean, is it? That's not
No.
JellyBean's bar. JellyBean's a little
Really
Yorkie.
right here. She's just
You want to show
relaxing.
JellyBean?
It's the home that's behind me.
Do you want to show JellyBean
Oh, sure.
to
So
viewers?
just to preface it, JellyBean is a 3-pound Yorkie. She is a rescue that I got December 13th of 2020. I drove a couple of hours to Reno, Nevada to pick her up.
Oh, you went to Reno.
Yeah, Reno, Nevada. From where I'm at, it's a couple of hours. It took a couple of hours longer since I drove 18 miles each way in the snow. So I'll go grab her.
You were driving through the snow in where? Through the mountains? There
Yeah,
she is.
She
She looks
just
like a
got a
baby.
haircut, so she looks very tiny. She
Looks
looks
like a
tiny
pup.
as usual. And so she's a rescue. They say that she is about 9 years old when I got her, so she's 12 now. Um, she she came to me with not many teeth, so her tongue sticks out because she has no teeth to hold in her teeth.
Why?
Um, sh Maybe the person that had her before me maybe didn't take care of her teeth,
Okay.
and so she didn't. She was very, very skinny, and they took out like 19 of her teeth. She has two teeth in the front and then her molars.
So what do you feed her?
I feed her dog food, but before I give it to her, I put it in
Mash it up.
water. I submerge it in boiling water for about 3-4 minutes to soften the food.
You
Pour out
steep
the
it.
water and then give it to
Yeah.
her. She doesn't like anything that's totally crunchy. So if she has anything, I give her soft treats. And obviously soft dog food.
Nice. All right. Well, on that note, I don't know if you're on Instagram or social media. You want to tell people that if
Oh,
you don't have to, if you don't want to.
I do not have an Instagram, but JellyBean has an Instagram. It's JellyBean95628, I believe. That's her handle.